Welcome back to another episode of Podcast at All. This is Beardo, and this is.
Hey, what's up, bro? My bad.
Yes.
Hey, bro, this Amber Heard thing going crazy, bro.
You got a crush on her or something?
Hey, yo, bro. I'm not trying to get my ass beat.
Okay, well,
So, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Podcast at All.
I already said that.
Well, I'm Chef.
Okay, now this is where I left it off.
There you go.
So today we're here with an interesting topic about. Actually, it's two topics. It's time
Okay.
travel and multi-universe. Before we get into it, let's just talk about so like the theory that started with Einstein, where he
Mhm.
basically said that he believed that there's like mirrored universes, something similar to multi-universes.
Okay.
Basically, where he's saying like it's a fabric of time, and there are like tiny holes, and those are the holes are the mirror through which you can travel into a mirrored universe.
So wait.
I don't know exactly how it is. It was a long
Yeah.
time, but basically that's the idea. But your question?
I don't know. My question is kind of like, okay, so like a fabric, so there's gonna be a bunch of holes.
Yeah, there's a lot of holes.
Yeah.
And
So-
those holes are mirrors, according to him. Which, if you pass through, you
So
come
it's like-
into another universe.
So does that mean like if someday
So
multi-universe travel is gonna be possible, you can only go to the other side of your own
you
little
can come
little.
back too through the hole.
Yeah. But you can't go to like another side or something.
So you can. So basically, it's trying to say like this is the iteration,
Uh-huh.
a different iteration, and then there might be another hole which might be a different iteration, or another hole which might be a different
Okay.
iteration.
So it's like a path. You can't like
Yeah.
jump.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean,
Okay.
it's
I mean,
just
yeah. I guess it's not.
it's not proven. Once we prove it, then we might be able to tell what it is or what it's
Okay,
not.
interesting.
And then the more famous is the multi-universe, which is obviously shown in movies.
Yeah.
Stephen Hawking recently did a paper in which he tried to make like a transport system where you could probably travel
Mhm.
through it. And he also believed in like those big multi-iterations of Big Bangs. But that's just too scientific. Let's get into the fun, dumb part.
Bro, that's where we excel, bro.
Let's go.
That's our specialty.
So it's gonna be interesting. So let me ask you, what are your thoughts on multiverse, or for that matter, mirror universes? And
Okay.
what are your thoughts on time travel?
So in general, how I think about like timelines and like multi universes and stuff like that was, I would kind of like believe it as a default, because that's what everyone talks about. That's what you know.
What do you
So-
mean, like okay?
So like for example, like you see the episode of Rick and Morty where it's like, what they're certain of something, so there's only one dot. But once they become uncertain, they split into two, because in this timeline they chose the first option, and the second option, the second timeline they chose the second option, which like
So you're basing multiverse off of decisions,
uh
kind of.
kind of.
Okay.
I'm basing the differences of them on decisions, like let's say one day I wanted to wear a shirt, the next day I wanted to wear a jacket.
So in one universe you wore a shirt, in another you wore a jacket.
Oh, no, sorry, not one day. Yeah, you understood me correctly, but I said it wrong. Like if in the same day I'm deciding whether I want to wear a shirt, or with a jacket or with no jacket, basically.
So you
So in one universe, maybe I chose option number
Ah.
one. Another universe, I chose option number two.
Okay, so you're basically kind of depicting the idea which is shown in Loki, and like you're said to make a decision, but for some reason, if someone goes into that timeline and makes you do another decision, you're just basically like, this was your timeline. You're gonna pick this jacket, go about your day, blah blah blah. But I come intervene and make you wear something else. Is gonna make
It's
a
gonna change
branch in
everything.
timeline, and this is gonna stop. You're gonna go here.
Yeah.
Which is okay. It's not too significant of an impact in your life,
and it might be the same.
unless this branch has sub branches.
Yeah.
So okay,
That's interesting.
I kind of like. Okay, that idea makes sense.
Yeah.
It's
So that's how
interesting,
I
could
think
be
about
possible.
it. But
What about
the,
time
the
travel?
the second half of my answer is like
Oh, to the same multiverse.
to the multiverse
Uh-huh.
thing, is that like getting into the mindset kind of for this episode, for this podcast, is like I kind of ask myself, do I actually believe it exists? And to be honest, like not really. I don't know. It doesn't seem like. I
What-
don't know.
what
Maybe,
about
maybe
time
it's just
travel?
because I don't know enough about it, but it doesn't seem realistic.
What about time travel?
Um, Time travel, I think, is possible, but and I don't have a full answer to this, but I don't think it's possible in the way that we know it. You know,
Mm,
like not in the
interesting.
way that like okay, I'm gonna go back to when I first moved, for example, or at that time, and I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna be interactive, and I can change something that might change the future.
I kind of agree with that about time travel too. To me, when I was a kid, that came into my mind, time travel.
Yeah.
But now, for me, time travel is kind of like what Flash feels. He's just so fast that
Uh
everything
huh.
else is relatively slower to him,
Yeah.
and he can do a certain task way quicker than anyone else could do without them noticing. So to me, right now in this era, I think that's the only time travel that's possible. And if you think about the time travel in which, like, you go, oh, back, like this timeline, you go to me being a 3-year-old, I
Mhm.
just think that's not possible.
Yeah.
I just think, like, if, because that would mean that there's one version of me that's gonna be a 3-year-old forever, and it's just gonna be frozen in time, you know? Like, if you instead of like looking at the minutes, if you bring it down to like milliseconds,
Mhm.
you know, there's gonna be a millisecond of me of a 3-year-old that's gonna be stuck forever. You know
But
what I'm
what
saying?
if?
You know
Yeah,
how like if
I see what you're
I'm
saying,
kind
but
of like let's say like a skin is the snake is trying to like leave off its
like shed skin.
shedded skin. So imagine that skin being a 3-year-old, and the snake is growing. So that thing is gonna stay there forever.
The shedding thing.
Yeah, unless it's not there
Interesting.
forever, you can't
That's a good
tell.
example.
So you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, but okay, what if? Okay, what if you go back to when you were 3, and then you come back, and then you go back to when you were 4? Does that still mean there's a branch that? Okay, so you're saying like this is your timeline right here. When you go back,
I'm not
there's
saying
something.
messing with the decision just to see. I think it's not possible.
Yeah, I know. No, no, I'm not. I'm not saying the decision. I mean about your comment of what you said about how there's a version that stays like that forever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that,
Can you explain that more?
like I'm saying, like, you know the snake example, right? Like
Uh
it
huh.
sheds its skin. Let's say like I'm the snake. When I'm shedding the skin, that's like me growing into 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old.
What's
Hey,
up,
buddy.
Juicy?
What's up, boy?
So
Okay, hold up.
when does the shed come out exactly?
So as like let's say the shedding is like a process of the me growing. Like
Okay.
when I'm bringing out the shed, it's like I'm 3 years old, I'm 4 years old, I'm
Uh
five
huh.
years old. But for me to be able to go back to see that if I'm 3 years old, the skin is supposed to be there forever, stuck there.
Mhm.
But that's not actually the case because the snake is,
The snake is still moving.
yeah, it's going, and the snake itself is like moving. It's not like leaving behind, you know, like it's not leaving its body behind. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like let's say I'm no more 3-year-old, and I can never be a 3-year-old, and I can never be stuck as a 3-year-old. So if that's the case, then I can never be able to go see me as a 3-year-old because I'm no longer 3 years old.
Okay. I mean, the only thing I feel like that doesn't really add up with your example of the snake thing because, like,
It wasn't a perfect example. Now that I think about it,
I mean, okay, okay. I thought that you kind of like.
just trying to like
Because
that was the only way I could explain it. A
yeah,
little
that makes
bit.
sense. Okay. So, do you think it'd be more accurate, for example, if you're saying like, okay, there's a guy who's walking with a broken bag of flour,
Okay.
and that trailer's leaving behind him.
Exactly. Like
Okay,
the
okay, okay.
trailer's there
Then I know what you mean.
forever.
Then I get what you mean. Yeah,
Like it's just gonna stay there for, which is not possible.
yeah.
So for me, the Flash is the only way time traveling is possible.
That's. I think you have a good point, but it's kind of hard for me to think about it.
It's just either he's too fast or we're too slow. Two perspectives.
Yeah, time is relative, but maybe, and I'm not gonna say like I'm not gonna correct the theory or anything because I'm not in a place to do that. But for me, in a way that makes more sense is if someone says like, the sense of time is relative. Because if the Flash is going from point A to point B, then I go to from point A to point B. It's got to take him. Maybe it's still gonna feel like 15 minutes for me. It's still gonna feel like 15 minutes for him. But
But the actual time is what your time is, not his time. Let's establish the fact that the
yeah,
actual time is your time.
okay, yeah.
and his time is not the actual time.
Exactly.
Then his 15 minutes are his 15 minutes, but in actual time,
It's
those
2
are
seconds.
like a millisecond or something.
Yeah.
But establishing that fact makes it less confusing.
That's true.
But
are we still accurate when we talk about it that way? Do you know?
What do you mean?
Like when we say like, okay, I'm going from point A to point B, my time is the real time. Is there anything called the real time?
No.
No.
Time
okay,
is relative.
then I won't go any further because I'm not gonna.
Yeah, there's.
My mind's gonna explode. I swear.
That's what
that little segment right there when I stopped you. That's brought to you by Gummy Dummies.
And then also, remember we were talking about the we mentioned an experiment a couple of days ago where there was like a clock on a really fast airplane, and then there was a clock, and then they had different times because the plane was traveling too fast.
Yeah.
So that also like are experiments that are conducted to say that time's relative. Now I don't know how accurate they are.
That's a crazy because that's kind of like contradicted in what we just talked about with the Flash thing, because what we were saying is like, although one person,
I think
okay, let's say I'm sitting right here, okay, I'm sitting right here, and Beardo's on a plane. He's gonna go somewhere around and come back.
Okay.
Because he's going so fast, he feels everything around him is going slower.
Yeah.
Because for example, going from this place to this place, when he's on a plane, he's like, damn, that's like, I don't know, it's gonna take a little while to get there, but he's gonna be like that. So his sense of time is like, okay, I've been out for like, I don't know, 5 minutes. I'll be like, bro, you've been out for half an hour.
But the clock doesn't know that.
The clock doesn't know that. The clock is gonna say
interesting,
maybe 5 minutes or whatever it was.
Interesting. I think it's
so that's the interesting part about that experiment, is that the clock was different.
I haven't thought about that. Yeah, because the clock doesn't know if it's traveling fast or not.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't know. I think we would need to see it live to see what goes.
Like the clock doesn't have like an adrenaline that's gonna make it go faster, you know?
Yeah.
It's gonna get the mechanics pumping faster.
Maybe something to do with the G-forces, maybe.
I don't really know what G-forces are.
Like gravity forces, because you're traveling.
Oh, G-force, okay.
So fast that the external forces, kind of slow you down. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there needs to be like a live experiment on this, which is really, really interesting.
Bro, what if we can have that guy that's sitting on the ground, his watch live streamed, and the person on the plane
also live streamed?
Their watch is live streamed.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it would be really interesting.
See one that's crazy.
But then I think it has to be over a certain amount of time for it to work.
Oh, maybe the change is so slight. Is that what you mean? Maybe.
So, but anyway, that's kind of interesting. And then, so now that we established what we think about like time travel and what we think about multi-universes, there's like a lot of movies out there that talk about this, that show this. And so, which one do you think is, if let's say if time travel was possible, which one would you think, or multi-universes are also possible? Assuming, let's establish the fact that in order to travel to multi-universes, time travel is the only option, or one of the options, or the option that we have access to. So which movie would you pick? There's like this movie, obviously the Marvel movies, the seasons, and then there's the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I don't think the Marvel stuff is I don't know, because I haven't seen a lot of the recent movies, but from what I see...
You've not seen Loki?
No, I haven't seen Loki. I don't know, I grew out of Marvel, to be honest. I don't really like Marvel that much anymore.
Bruh.
But I feel like that's like kind of the fantasized, what everyone wants it to be kind of thing, you know?
So the Everything Everywhere All at Once kind of shows it basically like traveling to multi-universes subconsciously. Like they say, like me, I have an iteration in every other universe, and basically you do something and you jump into different consciences, whatever, and then you're neuralinked or something, which to me doesn't make sense. Like that's probably never gonna be possible.
No, how can you access that? consciousness.
Yeah. To me,
I
like
can
the
be able
only
to-
way possible is either what's shown in Loki or the Avengers. Like the Avengers, they have like such a big machine where they push you through like a black hole or something or whatever, and you travel.
Black hole and stuff,
I don't know what it
and
is
like
exactly.
wormholes and
I
stuff.
for yeah, something like that. I forgot how they do it.
Maybe that'd be
And then
interesting.
they go into like another one, and the Loki one is like, I think they have the same. To me, like that's the one that's like more likely,
Yeah.
could be done. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Or you remember that fact that we talked about a few days ago about like the about how, for example, someone is in like maybe another universe, whatever, and they have like this crazy telescope that they're able to look at us.
mm-hmm.
They'll see like dinosaurs or something.
Yeah, because time is traveling. No, not time.
Not time, like light.
The reflection is
Yeah, like the
traveling.
reflection of light bouncing
so
off
long.
Earth
So
to their lens.
So what they're seeing now is
It's gonna
actually showing them dinosaurs, which is hella interesting.
Yeah.
But I remember you pulled up a video about that woman.
Yeah.
Do you
You want me
wanna?
to pull it up?
Yeah, because I kind of never understood what she was saying.
I don't really understand what she's saying either, but I just
It's
thought
funny how like I think the phones are listening, bro.
Phone, bro.
We were discussing about having this podcast, and then
Yeah, we talked about having this podcast. Then I found this video like yesterday or this morning. All right, let me play this video, and I'll see what Beardo thinks, and I'll see what you guys think, and if you guys can kind of wrap your head around it, or if it makes sense at all. If you, yeah.
The other day I witnessed it click for someone that there are two major timelines occurring simultaneously, the positive polarity timeline and the negative polarity timeline. And this means that you're going to be witnessing the negative polarity timeline while standing in the reality within the reality of your positive polarity timeline. It might be confusing, but this is how it goes. You are going to witness the trials and tribulations of the escalating and the very loud negative timeline that they're pumping out right now while being safe and protected in your positive polarity reality. So you're going to see the shortages on the shelves, for example, yet you're always going to be fed. This is just one example, and it's very difficult to explain because it's quantum. However, a lot of us are starting to experience this now. I don't know how long it's going to happen where we're riding simultaneously with the two timelines. Eventually, the negative one is just going to fall out of our reality, but for now, we can still see it.
okay, now that I've seen it for the second time during this like the first time in the podcast, but the second time,
Mm-hmm.
to me, I think she's using the word timeline wrong. I
Yeah.
think what she's trying to say is, because she says what they're doing is affecting your positive, their negative decisions are affecting. I think she just misused the word timeline. I think it's what she's trying to say has nothing to do with time travel or different iterations.
Yeah.
I think what she's trying to say is like what like different people are doing somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You're essentially feeling their repercussions or whatever,
Yeah.
but you're still not affected by them because you are in a good, like a better country or like a better state of
Yeah.
whatever.
So basically, what is happening when we don't bring the definition of timeline into the situation? What happening is like, she's like, okay, our normal society, our first world country, whatever, our situation's like this. So it's the first time we see how the normal situation of another maybe more like unfortunate third world country situation
Mhm.
kind of integrate a little bit.
Yeah,
But and she uses the word timeline, which is interesting.
but to me, I think the timeline word is not fitting here,
I don't know.
because
I don't feel like I know enough to be able to say yes or no, but
I think she's more of like talking like a humanitarian decision type, which is affecting.
it kind of does sound like that.
And I'm not a big fan of human rights
I mean,
because they
when you
always
say it like that, it sounds bad, but
no, because they always poke up in the wrong, you know. But
I guess so.
that's another debate
That's
for
another
another
debate.
podcast. But we'll share the video.
Yeah, we'll pop up the video. We'll try to link it up like while we're watching it.
Yeah, so you
So
guys
it's up at
can
the
see
same
what
time.
she says and see if you agree with my idea for if she's using the timeline wrong.
I don't. She might be just using the term wrong. Maybe she wants to make it sound interesting, or
Yeah, negative polarity.
Or maybe it's just like some hippie thing that she believes in or something.
Like, what are you, a magnet?
I don't know.
But yeah, I guess there's more we could talk about this topic, but let us know what you think if time travel is real. If you agree with Chef's idea of time travel or multi-universes, if you agree with mine,
Yeah.
if you agree with Marvel, whatever.
If you don't believe it at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Which,
not...
to be honest, I kind of don't.
Like,
But let us know what you guys think.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think, and...
Make sure you like the video, click subscribe, press the notification so you know when we upload. And let us know again in the comments what you think, what you want to see, how you think we did, and what you think about the topic. And yeah, that's about it. Peace.